Welcome to the Homeschool Mama Support Group on Facebook. If we haven't already met, I'm Teresa Wiedrick, the certified life coach and homeschool mentor and graduated homeschool mom. And you'll find me here. You'll find me in my website, capturingthecharmedlife.com, and Instagram at Homeschool Life Coach, on my podcast, which is presently named Homeschool Mama Self-Care. I'm here to help you shed what's not working so you can show up on purpose in your homeschool and mom life. And I don't want to miss another Tuesday from saying hi and welcome to the group. My goal is to do a little different stuff around here, like actually try to keep it a bit more real on the socials. So I'm sitting in my house on Western British Columbia. There's fires not too far away because that's where I live. And it's pretty dang hot. Somewhere in the afternoon, I'm going to find myself and my dog inside the cold river to cool down. But first, I wanted to say hi to the new folk that are here. A special welcome to you. Kylie, if I have already mentioned your name, forgive me. It's been a couple of weeks and I've lost track who I have said hello to and who I have not. But Kylie, you are homeschooling your kiddos soon. You haven't started yet, and they're a younger age. You ask for advice and guidance on how to get started and what you need to know to get started with homeschooling. Very much depends on where you are. If you want to cover the legalities of it, we can always meet for conversation. I have a virtual group dedicated to first-year homeschoolers. And also I've got a group, if you're a first-year homeschooler and you want to join other homeschoolers, you're welcome to join me in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective over on Patreon. If you're curious, just ask me for a link and I'll grab it for you. But in a moment, after I've welcomed people, I'm going to mention a few of those tips for first-year homeschoolers. Tomorrow, I'm offering a free webinar for first-year homeschoolers, those that are either going into their first year or the ones that are going from the transition from first year to second year. You've already had a year of homeschooling, then you already know what your challenges might be, or at least you have a sense what they might be. And so I'm going to share with you the 9 mistakes to avoid a stressful first-year homeschool or a stressful first to second-year homeschool transition. If you're curious about that workshop, just ask me for the link and I'll grab it for you. So Kylie, welcome. You are doing your research. 4 and 1. Those kiddos are little and you must be very busy. I hope you're sleeping. Angela, welcome. Also, you're looking to create more connections for your kiddo or your daughter, and you're on the West Coast like me. In fact, I might even be closer to your area in a couple of weeks on vacation. It looks like a lovely, lovely place. I visited a few times there. And sometimes I find it hard, especially in the homeschool, high school years, for kids to find connections with each other too. That was my experience. I just had a conversation with Natalie Burns about homeschooling high school on our live. We have a regular homeschool mom chat on Instagram, and that usually is 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so your time zone on Tuesdays. So I just finished that. You'll find it on my YouTube channel a little bit later. But her and I have a conversation around homeschool high school. There's a lot of different dynamics to have conversations around that because it's different. It's a whole lot different. You're kind of working yourself out of a job. You're helping your child figure out what they want to do for the rest of their lives and also build connections and still, create all those cool experiences and all the different kind of learning that happens in the high school years. So I know what it's like too, to try and help your child create connections when they're in the high school years. It's different. You can't set up play dates the way that you could when they were young. Let me see here. Then also welcome to Hannah, which is one of my girls' names. So I'm brand new to this journey. Welcome. We'll be homeschooling our 12-year-old for the first time. So yeah, advice, tips, and support as a request. Well, I'd be delighted to have that conversation today. Of course, you're always welcome to join us in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective too. We meet every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this week will be the book club discussion. We're being rather informal this time of year because people are in and out. They're doing all their summer activities, including me. And so one of the weeks we have a book discussion. Another week we have a writer's room where we're encouraging a journaling practice, then or a blog practice, whatever you do for writing, if you enjoy that. Then there is a conversation where we have a round table and we are joining together to have a conversation around specific scenarios that may be challenges in our homeschool family lives. And then we have another conversation or a workshop based on a specific issue that someone brings to the group and says, I'd like to have a deep dive on this discussion. And so we've done anything from Enneagram to dealing with kid bickering to, relationships within the homeschool family. That's one I've got for next year. All sorts of different topics in workshops. The thing behind this Confident Homeschool Mom Collective is I want to keep it real. So you're going to see me in, you're going to see me in this room on Zoom, and we're going to be chatting with other homeschool moms across Canada, North America. Sometimes we dip into different people around the world. There's different places that sometimes they come on out. It depends on the time zone. But it's a wonderful way to connect with other people outside of your own homeschool. But it's also I think it's a unique group. It is a unique group because we are focusing on self-growth or personal growth as well as our children's homeschool experience. So you're always welcome to join us. The first 7 days are free, so you can just check it out and see what it's like. You're most welcome. Megan, welcome to the group. You were wanting to listen to the chat with Pat Faringa, and I regret that with my my tech skills. I don't know why it didn't go live, but it didn't go live. And he is such a delight to chat with, though. And it's up on my YouTube channel, our conversation, and also the podcast interview that I had with him. And I know that he also put it up in his Growing Without Schooling magazine or email subscription over the last day. So much to learn from in conversation with Pat. Mary, welcome. So you also have a 12-year-old girl. Well, isn't that an interesting coincidence? That would be so much fun if you guys both came and had a conversation with each other. One of the things that I'm intending to do this year is to create a Zoom link that's available for y'all to chat even when I'm not there, because there's times where I'm able to leave the Zoom room open for people to chat, and you're always welcome to do that with each other. Some private things I don't want to mention there. So you're focusing on unschooling. Yeah. Yes. Well, you're also welcome to join me in a no obligation conversation. Tuesdays and Fridays, I create space in my coaching schedule because I work as a life coach and as a homeschool mentor in the homeschool mom space. But you're always welcome to join me if you're looking to create a plan around any challenges that are happening in your life or in your homeschool. Ask me for the link and I'll get it for you. And if you haven't already signed up as if you're a first-year homeschooler, I've got a guide for you. I'm going to go into that in a few minutes. But then I've also, for homeschool moms that have been there, done that for a few years, aka 2 and beyond, I have a specific mini course titled Reimagine Your Homeschool Mini Course. If you haven't already signed up for it or you haven't already seen an email in your inbox about it, just ask me and I'll make sure you get the link. Lala, you have middle schoolers that want to homeschool again. They actually asked to homeschool. Very cool. I'm super curious where you are located. So tell me how that's going. Middle schoolers wanting to homeschool. Tell me what happened. Like, what was the reason that they wanted to begin homeschooling? Everybody always says that every year you can reconsider how you're going to do things, and it really is true. I mean, you don't have to wait a year. You could do every few months and reassess if you want to, but definitely when you know you've got kids that are asking for you to homeschool, that means a lot. They're motivated. And then another mom, Jane, welcome. You're homeschooling your 14-year-old son, and I have interesting webinars. Thank you. I would love to hear how you found me. and what webinars you're curious about, you're definitely welcome to join me. Marie, welcome. You're beginning your homeschool journey as your son begins grade 1. It's like, what is that? The funnest, good grammar, but the most fun part of our homeschool journey is probably kindergarten, grade 1. So much fun. The only thing I wish I could have done differently, authentically, the only thing I wish I could have done differently was to realize that I was supposed to have fun. And that was hard for me to do because I was taking it so seriously. Can you relate? You also share a little bit about discussion around routines, what works, creating more joy and play, and a discussion on self-care. I don't know if you knew this. I know that my page is called Homeschool Mama Self-Care, but I've got a podcast with the same name, and it all originated because of a book that I wrote. In fact, it's right here because I use it to prop up my computer. I've got a few copies left in real time, but Homeschool Mama Self-Care, Nurturing the Nurturer. I wrote my book in 2000, I think it was 2017, 2018. It was edited the following year and then released in April 2020. When February I started my podcast, conveniently 1 month before the pandemic was called, and I had much time and activity in my closet because that's where I record my podcast. So yeah, I definitely go into a deep dive on self-care in that book, but I also go into a deep dive of self-care every time I have a conversation, either in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective or in life coaching, because kind of relevant. It is too easy to overlook the most basic things, especially when you're a homeschool mom. Or should I say, especially when you're a homeschool mom with little ones, even more challenging. But because we've been homeschooling our kids when they're little and then we move into the older years, it's even more challenging because we get into habits of not attending to what we need. So I offer a guidebook for first-year homeschool moms. And presently what I have as an offer is a series of concepts or thoughts to consider as you're moving into that first homeschool year. Every week you will receive, if you sign up for the guidebook, you will receive weekly emails to encourage you in your first year homeschool journey. I like to call it the 52 weeks of love letters for the homeschool mom, because in some ways it is one of the most exciting years because we typically are homeschooling, not everyone, but a lot of homeschool moms are quite intentional. They know what their intentions are behind it. They're excited to put their plans into place and make this thing happen for their unique reasons. And then by the end of the year, they're like, okay, Houston, we have a couple problems. And even though there's a lot of freedom that we get in that first homeschool year, especially if we're pulling kids from school and putting them in or in creating a homeschool, there's a lot of freedom in that. But we also realize things like, and not everybody's the same, but things like I'm tired, or where am I going to find space for myself, or I'm having a relationship challenge with my child. Things are not going smoothly, or kids are having problems with themselves in the homeschool. Actually, that's what I'm going to be discussing in the webinar tomorrow, the 9 mistakes to avoid a stressful first-year homeschool. So if you'd like to join me, you're welcome to do that. But I'll just give you a few points, not all the points in the guidebook for planning your first homeschool year. The very first thing I say is work toward realistic expectations. So that means time block and practice being present. Even if you think you're working towards realistic expectations, you probably want to assess those expectations and then reassess those expectations and keep reassessing until you're like, yeah, there's no way that I can pare this down more. And now I'm finally relaxed. Our realistic expectations are the only way that we can homeschool with joy or with fun or with play and really enjoy it. And yet just know that it's kind of a rite of passage to move into the homeschool space with unrealistic expectations. So you're totally normal if that's your challenge, but our goal is to work toward realistic. And 2 of the ways that we can do that, And I'll just fly over the concepts right now. I can go into a detailed workshop in the First Year Homeschool Confident Homeschool Mom Collective. I can do an actual workshop around these. One is time blocking. Actually getting clear on how much time you have, whether you can actually do all the things you want on your list, and determining what really matters. And the other thing is practicing presence. When we incorporate mindfulness practices, we get a little more clear on what matters and how much time we have to do the things that we hope to do, or whether our children have capacity to do the things we expect them to do. We practice presence, we feel more at ease, and we allow our children to live more at ease. That is just a simple statement that really could become a full-on workshop discussion. Another point is self-care is a requirement, not an option. If you want to do this thing long-term, or even for a year, you need to make it sustainable. And the way you make it sustainable is to actually get time away. And I know that for some families, especially if you're a single parent family or you have a variety of possible scenarios, that might sound like wildly unrealistic in itself. And I get that. If there is a way to connect with another family, to build a community with another family so that you can exchange kids once a week, one person looks after everybody's kids and you go get an hour time away that isn't in a grocery store, that would be super useful for you. Out of all the things that I have conversations around, that is one that most moms know that they should do and they don't. Or if they're partnered, they know they should ask their partner to look after their kids, but they don't. Even when the partner says, you should go do something, go do anything, go. And they go, yeah, but I think I should stay with the kids. And I get that because I've been there. I did do that for a while until I couldn't anymore. And I needed to get away just for an hour. For me, it was Starbucks. Doesn't matter where it is. Could be at the library. It could be going for a walk at a nature center. It could be anything. Just go away, be by yourself, and regroup. It's a sustainability practice for you. And of course, you'll hear me speak about this a lot, whether you're a first-year homeschool parent or you've been doing this for a long time. Academics are not synonymous with an education. You want to lean in to child-inspired learning, and you want to ask yourself, what is an education anyway? That might sound like a heady conversation. It could be. At the end of the day, it really is you clarifying what you really believe an education to be, because when you get clear on what you think matters in this, then you will be able to align the practical activities you have each day with your values. And then you will feel comfortable and confident that you are doing the right thing by your family. You are doing enough. And that's the goal, is to more closely align what you really believe about what an education is and doing it on a day-to-day basis. So those are just three of a variety of points from the guidebook for planning your first homeschool year. If you're a first year homeschooler, you're welcome to ask me for the guide. Just write guide below and I'll grab you the link. If you are a second and beyond homeschooler, second year and beyond homeschooler, just ask me for the Reimagine Your Homeschool mini course if you haven't already seen it. Everyone is invited this week to our book discussion in the Confident Homeschool Mom Collective, and a special welcome to the new homeschool moms. Would everyone join me in saying hello? Because my goal here in the Homeschool Mama Support Group is to do something different on socials. Actually try to be real, be warm, and be welcoming. So everybody, welcome. Thank you. And I hope you have a beautiful week.